Now, imagine you could see the danger waiting for you in the future as a result of your bad habits today. Would you become a different man? You might think so, but here is the reality. In theory, knowing the danger should rattle your bones and force you to change. But in reality, knowledge rarely defeats addiction. Whether a man develops discipline upon seeing his destruction depends on two psychological factors: the immediacy of the threat and the strength of his current chains. Human biology is wired for the now. We have a cognitive bias called hyperbolic discounting. A man knows that eating junk food and scrolling endlessly will ruin his health and bank account in 10 years. But the hit of dopamine right now is a 10 out of 10 intensity, while the pain of a heart attack in a decade feels like a 2 out of 10 because it's far away. Even if he knows the danger, his primitive brain treats the future version of himself like a stranger. He is willing to rob his future self to pay for his current comfort. For many men, knowing isn't enough. They have to feel the fire first. Discipline often only arrives when the danger moves from the future into the present. When the doctor says, "You have 6 months," or the bank says, "We're taking the house," the negotiation with his emotions finally stops because the cost of chaos has become higher than the cost of discipline. If a man has lived in chaos for too long, his anterior mid-cingulate cortex, the willpower hub of the brain, has atrophied. He might see the train wreck coming and want to jump off the tracks, but he has no mental muscles left to move. He has broken so many promises to himself that he no longer believes he is capable of change. If knowledge were the cure, there would be no overweight doctors or broke accountants. You don't think your way out of chaos, you act your way out. If a man sees the danger but doesn't immediately impose a rule or a schedule, the knowledge just becomes another source of anxiety that leads him back to his addictions for comfort. Desire is cheap. Anyone can get it, but true character is expensive. It's paid for in the moments when nobody is watching and every cell in your body is screaming for you to quit. To break the chains of hyperbolic discounting and bypass a withered willpower hub, you must stop negotiating with your emotions. When you wake up and feel tired, your brain starts a campaign to convince you why sleeping back in is okay. The mistake most men make is engaging in this debate. They try to reason with their laziness. You cannot win a debate with an emotion because emotions don't use logic, they use comfort. The moment you start the negotiation, you have already lost. You don't argue, you move. You treat the feeling like background noise, like a car alarm going off down the street. It's annoying, but it doesn't change your plans. This is why most guys take 2 steps forward on good days and 3 steps back on bad days. They wait for a surge of confidence or masculine energy before they go on the attack. Now, to stay fully locked in, you need a plan that is written in stone. A predetermined set of rules that governs your behavior and removes the need to make a decision when you are at your weakest. A master schedule, the death of drift. Without a schedule, even your progress is just a setup for a later failure. Most men have intentions, but intentions are simply mere wishes. They are chaos disguised behind ambition. A schedule turns an intention into a commitment. If the gym is blocked out from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., that time is sacred. If you don't protect that block, you are admitting that your physical dominance is less important than a random YouTube notification. Chaos loves the word busy. It makes a man feel productive when he's really just wasting his time. A chaotic man feels busy because he spends his day answering text messages, low-priority emails, organizing his desk, or running errands that don't move the needle on his mission. He is in constant motion, but he isn't going anywhere. Seeing your thoughts on paper forces you to realize that your mountain of problems is usually just 4 or 5 specific tasks. It turns an overwhelming feeling into a to-do list. By locking yourself into a schedule, you actually remove the anxiety. You no longer have to worry about what you're forgetting or what you should be doing. The schedule gives you permission to be 100% present. When it's time to work, you work. When the schedule says rest, you can truly relax because the master has cleared that time for you. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. A great example of this is a man from the Kenyan highlands within the legendary Great Rift Valley, Eliud Kipchoge, the marathon world record holder. The long-distance runner is widely considered the greatest marathoner in history. He is the only human to have run the marathon distance in under 2 hours, a feat achieved during the Ineos 159 challenge. He is the ultimate discipline archetype. Despite being a multi-millionaire and a global icon, he chooses to live a life of extreme simplicity and rigor. Since 2003, Kipchoge has kept a physical notebook where he logs every single training session, the time, the kilometers, the shoes, and even his feelings. He has 18 such logs stored at his home, reflecting over 20 years of consistency. He doesn't trust his memory or his mood. He trusts the system he has documented. Despite being one of the most famous athletes on earth, he chooses to live in a basic training camp in Kaptagat, Kenya, to maintain total control over his discipline. He views this not as a restriction, but as the choice that gives him the freedom to break world records and achieve what others thought was impossible. A man who won't write his schedule down is a man who is afraid to see how much time he wastes. Paper doesn't lie. If you have 6 hours of empty space on your calendar, you have to admit that your busyness was a lie. When you look at a man like Eliud Kipchoge, he isn't rushing around. He has a few high-priority tasks: run, eat, sleep, recover, and he executes them with total focus. Ink is more reliable than willpower. A notebook doesn't care if you had a bad day at work. Once you write a task down, it becomes a promise you have made to yourself. Now, let's talk about why most men drown in information but starve in action. We live in an era of information obesity and execution starvation. You can research from your bed, in your pajamas, while eating a bag of Doritos. You can find a world-class workout for free in 5 seconds. But instead of doing, you worry about finding the optimal way to start, so you never start at all. You become a professional student of a subject you've never actually practiced. If information were enough, everyone would have a six-pack. It's easy to get fat on data, listening to 3-hour podcasts on productivity, and saving top 10 threads on X. Our brains are stuffed with the theory of success, but our lives are starving for action. It's the modern disease of knowing everything, but doing nothing. The most dangerous thing about information is that learning feels like doing. When you watch or read about the gym or how to build a business, it gives you a tiny hit of dopamine that trickles into your brain, making you feel like you've accomplished something. It's a fake win. You get the reward of the achievement without any of the risk, sweat, or failure required in the real world. Having 1,000 workout plans is actually harder than having one. Your brain freezes because it's terrified of picking the wrong one, so it chooses the safest option, staying in bed and reading more. To cure this paralysis, you don't need more information. You need a private code of conduct, a set of non-negotiable laws that govern your life, regardless of how you feel, who is watching, or what the world is doing. This is your internal constitution. Without it, information is useless because you have no law to force you to apply it. You're just a prisoner in an invisible prison where the bars are made of procrastination. Knowing what to do while not doing it creates cognitive dissonance, a psychological weight that eats your soul because you know you are a hypocrite. You are a scholar of success, but a practitioner of failure. Now this is where it gets dark. What I'm about to reveal won't just unsettle you. It will trigger the powerful entities that profit from your weakness. This video might not stay up for long. The system doesn't want you to hear this, but the truth must be told. As we go through this, look closely and see if you recognize the prisoner staring back at you. There is a biological truth about you they don't want you to know. Whenever you want to scroll, eat junk food, or sleep in, you aren't making a choice. You are obeying a chemical signal in your brain. Your brain is an ancient machine designed for survival in a world of scarcity. When you see junk food or a warm bed, your brain releases dopamine. This isn't a reward, it's a command to go get that energy. If you follow that urge without thinking, you aren't an independent thinker. You are a biological machine responding to a chemical trigger. You are no different from a lab rat pressing a lever for a sugar pellet. The part of your brain that makes you a man is the prefrontal cortex, the seat of logic and long-term planning. The part that wants the junk food is the limbic system, the primal animal brain. When you give in to chaos, the animal brain has hijacked the cockpit. You think you're the pilot, but you're just a passenger watching your animal brain fly the plane into the ground. This is why the internal constitution is so vital. A choice requires a conscious decision based on your values. An impulse is just a reaction. If your value is, I am a disciplined athlete, but you eat the pizza because it looked good, you didn't make a choice. You betrayed your identity to obey a calorie-seeking chemical signal. Modern society is a dopamine economy. Algorithms, food scientists, and entertainment companies spend billions to figure out exactly which chemical signals to trigger in your brain to make you click, buy, or eat. A man who understands this is intimidating. He looks at a junk food ad or suggested video and thinks, "You are trying to trigger my dopamine to steal my time. I refuse." He is the constitutional man. He has laws that say, I do not eat garbage and I do not serve dopamine. The law is the wall. Men who lack direction in life are the drifters of society and perfect consumers. If you're one of them, you aren't human. You're a user, a gold mine for the system. You binge watch, eat junk food, scroll, and buy things you don't need to fill the void left by a lack of purpose. Without a disciplined mind, you react emotionally to headlines, trends, and social pressure. This makes you easy to steer because your buttons are exposed and easy to push. Chaos doesn't have an off switch, it has a deadline. Eventually, the debt of skipped responsibilities and poor health comes due. You become the man kneeling before consequences. The moment of realization where opportunities have passed, health is failing, relationships have crumbled, and you finally realize you are no longer in control of your life's trajectory. There is a quote that goes, "Only the disciplined ones are free in life." If you are undisciplined, you are a slave to your moods and your passions. And it's real. You have a choice to make, and you're making it every single second. You can either be the architect of your own laws, or you can remain a statistical casualty in a dopamine economy designed to harvest your potential. But understand this, every choice has a price tag. If you choose the easy road now, the bill will come due later. And it's a debt you'll pay with a failing body, a broken bank account, and a mind that no longer belongs to you. Don't let your future self pay for the comfort you're addicted to today. You see men in their 50s and 60s hitting the gym, jogging at sunrise, walking laps around the neighborhood. They aren't doing it because they want to. They're doing it because they're terrified of dying. They spent their youth serving their dopamine until the bill came due and the doctor broke the news. Do not fool yourself and think you still have time. One night you go to bed in your 20s and you wake up in your 60s. It happens that fast. If those men could turn back the clock, they would do things differently, but they can't. You, however, are living that moment right now. So use it productively. Build your master schedule. Forge an internal constitution and become a threat to your impulses and to the system itself. Be your own master and watch as the world bends to your will. If you're still watching, you claim to be among the few. Prove it. I want you to pick one law for your internal constitution and post it in the comments. Not a goal, a law. And then, for the next 48 hours, do not break it. If you can't even commit to a comment and a 2-day fast, admit you're a slave and keep scrolling. The rest of you, I'll see you on the other side of the wall. If you're done being a casualty, like, comment, and subscribe. The transformation begins now.